All right, what sounds good? I'm 6'4". I've got a glowing tan from all the money I make. I look like Brad Pitt. Eh. Yeah, these girls are gonna love this profile. And should you lie on your online dating profile? Unfortunately, this is a question that gets asked all the time. And the answers that you get from people, if you ask them if they think it's okay to lie on their profile, are wildly different. So, what I want to do today is I want to look at the three most popular things that people lie about on their online dating profiles. I want to talk about whether it's right or wrong. And then I want to break down some of the different nuances that could make some situations a little bit different. Then what I want to look at is the difference between lying and choosing what to share on your dating profile, because there are wildly different, and there are some things that I think are inappropriately put into different categories. And this is something super important that you're going to know if you are dating online. The number one thing that people lie about the most on online dating profiles is their age. And what's interesting is it's not always people lying to be younger. Sometimes you also do get people lying to be older. And the reason that people give that they lie about this is that their age doesn't match their personality. So if they're younger and they're a much more mature person, then they might lie and push their age older to try and give off a different persona. Or if they're older and they feel like they're way more active than their age says, then they might lie to be younger. Here's the problem. It is lying. No matter how much you like it or not, the number of years that you've been on this earth is your age. What I would encourage you to do, though, if you are one of those people who lives a bit of a different lifestyle than is typically or stereotypically tied to your age bracket, is put your real age, start the relationship off with truth, but then spend some time really crafting your profile to show that you are either more mature or that you're more active. And these are things you can do with how you answer the questions on your profile, the pictures you show, and things like that. If you are looking to write your profile and kind of tweak things like that, I am going to put a link in the description box below to our free guide on how to write the perfect online dating profile. It's a fantastic resource, and it will help you out with a lot of this. But the bottom line when it comes to lying about your age on your dating profile is don't do it. Accept who you are, but then use the other areas of your profile to really showcase who you are and that you are more than just that number. The second thing that you see people lie about the most with their online dating profiles is their looks. Now, generally, you don't see this on the text side of things unless someone's talking about something like maybe how tall they are. But where you see it the most is with pictures and photos. For some reason, some people think that if they put pictures up that don't represent what they actually look like, but maybe look at what they deem as more attractive, then somehow they're going to have more success when it comes to online dating. And this can be as simple as making Photoshop edits to photos to hide certain things, or strategically taking photos from different angles that hide certain things. Or it could go as far as catfishing, where someone's literally putting up photos of someone who's not them. If you've experienced any of this, I'd love it if you took a second right now and put in the comments below what happened, because I think it's pretty awesome to kind of hear these different stories, and it can help some other people, know what to be prepared for. Now, here's the problem with lying about what you look like. When you're dating, you're eventually going to meet the person that you're talking to. If you talk to someone special, even if they live halfway around the world, there's video chat apps and things like that, but most likely they live close to you, and your plan is to eventually meet them. Now, if you show up and you look absolutely different from your photos, how happy do you think that person is going to be? Probably not that happy. I've had it happen to me. I literally, not to be exaggerating or sound like a drama queen, but I felt betrayed. Right? I had started to build a connection with somebody, and while looks aren't everything, I like to at least know that the person I'm going to meet with is the person that I've been talking with, right? And so this is just a terrible, terrible lie. There are never any situations where this is a good idea. Now, the one caveat to that is, I mentioned earlier, taking pictures from strategic angles to hide things. That's different than taking pictures and really focusing on trying to showcase your best light and to look good, right? You don't have to go and take these terrible photos with terrible lighting and all that stuff. You can put some effort into your photos, but if you're doing something where you're taking the photo to hide something, well, then that's kind of a different story. So number 2 lie is photos, and this is never good. Now, for those of you who may not be happy with the way you look, and you may be tempted to alter or put up some different photos that don't really show what you look like, I do want to share something with you. There are certain aspects of the way you look that you can change, and there are certain aspects of the way you look that you can't change. Now, for the things that you can't change, there's nothing that you're going to be able to do about that, at least outwardly. However, there's a lot you can do inwardly. Take the time to become comfortable with who you are. And this is way more than we can deal with in this video today. But what I will tell you is, if you can build the confidence and you can own how you look and be happy with it, that's going to shine. And that's something that people are going to find super sexy and super attractive. Now, for the things that you can change, put in the effort, put in the time. If you're really unhappy about those things, change them. If you feel like you're a little overweight, hey, hit the gym or cut back on the calories a little bit. If you think you're scrawny, hit the gym. If you don't like the fact that you're pale, go get a tan. You have a lot of options here, and the only person you can be mad at is yourself when it comes to these certain things. The third thing that people lie about the most on their online dating profiles is their job, what they do for a living. And much like these other categories, there are different ends of the spectrum. On one end of the spectrum, you might have people who just flat out lie about what they do for a living. Maybe they're unemployed or they do something they're not happy about, but they put, I'm an astronaut, or, I'm a fighter pilot or a tank commander, or whatever it is that they put that they do for a living that they think maybe makes them look cool. And on the other end of the spectrum, you have people who share what they actually do for a living, but they change the way that they word it to try to give off a different persona. So what I do want to say to those people, if you bought a few stocks a few years ago and you gave them to your grandma or something like that, you're not a stockbroker. If you play poker for a living, you are not a risk assessment analyst. You're a poker player, right? Be comfortable with what it is that you do for a living, because two things are going to happen when you lie about this. Number one, you're setting yourself up for a really, really awkward situation. And if you do hit it off with the person and then you got to come back and tell them later, hey, well, actually, I lied to you about what I do for a living, that has potential to basically sabotage the entire relationship. And then the second thing that can happen is you might cut yourself off from people who would have been attracted to you and what you actually do for a living, right? The whole point of online dating is to find the person who's perfectly compatible with you. It's not to put up this fake profile that you think's the best and to try and get the stereotypical on paper best person that's out there. The idea is to find the person most and best well suited for you. And if you're lying about what you do for a living or any of these other things, then you're just setting yourself up for failure there. Before I get into the last thing I want to talk about today, I just want to say real quick, if you're enjoying the content, you're having a good time, it would really help the channel out if you hit that thumbs up like button and also hit that subscribe button. We're constantly putting out some new content and your support helps us to get there. The last thing I want to talk about today is the difference between lying and choosing to leave something off of your online dating profile. Online dating apps do a fantastic job of providing security and keeping things as private as possible, but at some point the information has to get out there or else there would be no matching and nobody would ever find anyone. So once somebody joins a dating app, then they will be able to see your profile. And there might be certain things with you or in your past that you're not necessarily comfortable sharing with everyone, but maybe you're more comfortable sharing that in a one-on-one conversation or as you're getting to know someone so that you can kind of tell the whole story with it. And I think that that is totally okay as long as there are a few caveats followed. Number one is if somebody asks you a specific question about that, you've got to be prepared to be honest, right? You can maybe omit something off of your profile, but when you're asked about it, you've got to be honest about it because otherwise you are lying. And then the second thing is if you're going to leave it off your profile, you do need to have some form of a plan of when and how you would share that with somebody as you get to know them because, certain people, the longer you go on in a relationship and you don't share something that they might deem as important, well, then you start kind of crossing that boundary to where they might start getting a little bit more upset. So again, I'm not saying you have to share it the first conversation and it's going to be totally different based off of what it is, but at least have some form of a plan to share that information. And then, if somebody gives you a hard time because you didn't have something on your profile, you can revert back to this video and kind of share some of the things we talked about how you prefer to share it one-on-one, or it's something you don't want aired out to everyone and you're okay sharing it with them, but only once you've started to build that trust. Well, hey, that brings us to the end of the video. If you enjoyed the content and you had a good time today, it would really help us out if you took just a second right now, hit that thumbs up like button, and then also hit that subscribe button. It really does support the channel and helps us to continue bringing you awesome content. Well, my name is Jason with healthyframework.com. Thanks for spending a few minutes with me today. Good luck out there.